On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Cole splices and dices, Ethan defeats all the aliens, and Tony wipes out the zombie hordes. It's also the beginning of E3. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's up?
I was sick yesterday.
That is not fun.
It is not.
That is not fun at all. Being sick is probably the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, it'd been a while since I called into work, so had to do it. Didn't want to, but they'll live.
Did they not think you were just trying to watch all of the amazing Summer Game Fest happenings?
Wait, was that happening yesterday?
Some of that was happening yesterday, yes.
Yeah, I just kind of, stayed in bed and played Mass Effect.
That's probably a better way to spend your time, really.
Yeah, I thought so.
So yes, pre-E3 has happened. As of right now, the time of this recording, E3 starts basically tomorrow with Microsoft. I guess Ubisoft technically started off E3 today, but
Who started it?
Ubisoft.
I thought you said Microsoft for some reason.
No, that's tomorrow.
I was about to challenge that information from you.
Microsoft is tomorrow, I think at 1 o'clock Central Time.
I will double check that really quick.
And Ubisoft was today. Devolver Digital was today. Gearbox was today.
Yeah.
Also,
tomorrow, 12 Central, Microsoft, followed by Square Enix at 2:15. Sorry, I'm working with the time. It's California time. What I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's all in Pacific time.
And then Warner Brothers at 4 with Back for Blood. Looking forward to that. 4:30 is the PC gaming show, and 6 o'clock Future Games show.
All of this will have happened by the time people are hearing this. So, also joining us this week is Cole.
Hi, Cole.
Maybe he's not joining us this week.
Taking my time to get here, just a sec. Yeah, hey, what's up?
He's in the middle of a strike on Destiny.
I'm fashionably late. A wizard is never late.
That's true.
No, I'm a cleric.
You're just rewatching Summer Game Fest coverage, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a chance to catch much of it that's happened?
No.
No?
No, I'm very I'm always very behind on the news. So whenever you guys are like telling news stories, I'm like I'm an avid listener as well. I'm like, oh.
You're learning the news as we talk about it.
As it happens, exactly.
Well, it sounds like you're deep into Destiny. What have you been doing in the game this week?
So this week is another expunge. This one takes place on Europa.
I think it was the moon.
The moon. Okay, so Europa was last week. The moon is this
expunge is still on Europa. That's where that's taking place. It's just you happen to go to the moon for the regular overload this week.
Oh, okay, yeah. So there's the two activities. There are the overload, which is rotating, and the expunge, which is a new one each week. Right now. However, I went ahead and I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and one of the triumphs for the seasonal title is go take out a bunch of champions out in expunge. There are only 2 champions that spawn in the current expunge.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is going to take a while, but I ran it pretty fast by myself just because it's like, all right, run it and reload. Like, don't finish the level, just kill the 2 champions and start over. It was only after that I finished it that I found out that you can actually go back and play the previous week's expunges. So,
oh, yeah?
Should have done that because there's another one. Yeah, you can go back and play the other ones. There's another one that has like 3 or 4 in it. It would have been a really good one to do. So make sure you go back to the first expunge mission if you want to get those champion kills, because you have to get like, I want to say it's like 30 or so for the triumph. But yeah, I got that done.
Cool.
Nice.
Through so I can do the activity some more. That's about it.
Nice.
Okay. What about you, Ethan? What have you been doing this week?
What are you up to, Ethan? Other than being sick.
I finished Mass Effect 1. So that's I'm trying to decide if I want to move to Mass Effect 2 or go back into 1 because I finished it today. I was level 20, 28, 20. I think I was level 29.
You gotta get to 30.
And 30 is the max on the new style that they did for the leveling on there. On Classic, it's 60. So in one playthrough, I've gotten really far on levels, so that's really great. But I recall first time through there, I had to play through the game like 5 times to max out my level, and that was like to get the last 5 levels on the playthrough again. So I'm not looking forward to that. But I did miss I think I missed one side quest, so I'm tempted to go back in and try to make everything right for everyone on there. I mean, this is unrelated to party members, but it's related to another thing. So I don't know. I might just skip it because it's not important. It's just someone you happen to see in the other game. Things happened in there that I didn't remember, like the fight against Saren/Sovereign. That was the thing. I forgot how that went in the original, but right now I'm kind of torn between going into Mass Effect 2 or going and actually finishing Persona 5 Royal.
It's a dilemma.
It really is, yeah. And then I also have like Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne and Final Fantasy 7 remake in.
You got a lot of RPGs happening.
Yeah.
And don't forget Tenkaichi Budokai.
I don't want to hook the PS2 up for that, man. I hate how correct you are. You don't even know what my game library is, but that is one of the games to play.
Yep.
And it was a bad one, so I don't plan to do that. But yeah, I will cut my segment short now because we got a lot of games to cover. So Tony, what did you play?
What have I been playing? I finished up Guns, Gore, and Cannoli with Andrew. Well, not Andrew. Jacob this week. So we have killed all the zombies. We have stopped the poison in the city that is turning everybody into zombies, and we have defeated the man in charge. That game gets. I forgot how hard that game gets at the end. Like there are hordes and hordes of zombies and mobsters and sewer rats, and it's all coming at you, and it is insane how much stuff is happening at the end of that game.
It's like Contra, where everything's just being thrown at you at the end.
It's just a typical New York day, you know?
Well, except you're in Chicago.
Just a typical Chicago day. I'm walking.
Except you're not really. They call it what do they call it? Thugville or something like that.
Mafiaville. There we go. I don't know. I'm making names up.
It's Lazy Town.
No, it's definitely not Lazy Town. There's no Sporticus anywhere to be seen. So, or Robbie Rotten for that matter. So we finished up that game's really good. It's like 3.5 hours, so it's a fairly quick play. But now we're thinking there was something we talked about playing this week. Can't remember what it was, but there's a Guns, Gore, and Cannoli 2 that takes place about 15 years later in the 40s, and you get to fight Nazi zombies. So we might play that.
Nice.
I almost thought of what we had talked about playing, but I lost it again, so I'll just move on. So yeah, but that's really the big thing that I've been playing this week, aside from I played a little bit of Octopath Traveler this week. Not a ton of stuff. It's been, the last few days have been the beginning of pre-E3, so I've been paying attention to
Pre-3
that stuff, and yeah, pre-3. So, in fact, let's just take a quick break. We knew we were going to get through the game section really fast because there's a lot of news already with just the first couple of days of the Summer Game Fest and the start of E3. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about a lot of the stuff that's been announced so far. All right, so Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley, he doesn't care about E3 anymore. He's doing his own thing. He partnered with Amazon Games, and their branding was everywhere, all over the Summer Game Fest stuff. It was just brought to you by Prime Games. Prime Games this, Prime Games that. You can get free games and Prime Games. I don't know if you knew that. I haven't checked to see if I've gotten all of mine yet, actually.
Wait,
I need to do that.
what free games?
You know, your regular free games that you get if you're a Prime member.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see a list of games I could get for free.
It's not anything because of Summer Game Fest. I'm just talking about the regular.
Oh, okay, because
rotation of-
Amazon was... Okay, got it.
Yeah. So
Promotion. Got it. All right.
So during the initial Summer Game Fest thing was 2 hours long. It was okay. Like there wasn't anything that really blew me away. The thing that I was the most excited for was the announcement of Metal Slug Tactics, which I don't know if you saw that. That looks fantastic.
Yeah, it actually looked really good.
You take that old sprite work. It's being done by who's it being done by?
I didn't actually get to see most of this stuff, and what little I did see, the sound was off, so I have no idea.
It's I don't know who it is, but the sprite work is fantastic. Like they've done a really good job. .emu.
Like, I saw it, and I was like, man, is this like a fan project? This is really interesting.
Yeah, no, it is a proper Metal Slug,
Tactics.
turn-based tactics game. So I am very excited for that one. That was sort of the game that just caught my attention the most. And after that, everything was just like, okay, whatever. That's cool. That's cool. I just want to talk about Metal Slug. Death Stranding.
2?
No, not Death Stranding 2. Kojima was on the show and he was talking to Jeff Keighley, and then they were like, okay, see ya. And then he was like, Jeff, hold on. And then he showed a trailer for Death Stranding Director's Cut, which is Death Stranding with more content and a box of oranges.
Oranges? I want the baby. The baby.
I don't remember seeing the baby anywhere in the trailer. But I mean, of course, it's got to be there.
It helps if I wasn't muted.
The baby.
Yeah, it might, because Death Stranding is the thing that you know more about than
You played it?
either of us. And
Yeah, I got the platinum trophy in there, and I don't feel like playing the whole game again.
No?
So if I can just play that additional content or something, I'll be happy with that.
There were some fun nods to Metal Gear Solid apparently during the trailer with like the
it
cardboard
was
box
a fun nod. Yes, that's one way to say it, but it's also like a cheeky poking fun at Konami.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But it was just awesome because he pulls down the box thinking, I can use this to sneak by those guards. And then you see all the oranges fall out. It's like, man, Metal Gear Solid 2 reference. I get it. And then he hops into the box and he's like, no.
No. Yeah, I was expecting him to turn the box upside down and just start walking around, and I was like, hey, even I know that reference. But no, he didn't. So, but yeah, if you're curious about Death Stranding, check it out. Like it's one of those games that I've been like, I might be interested in this, but I don't know that I'd put a ton of time into it.
I don't know if that'd be a game you'd want to play, Tony.
No?
It is a long, taxing game. It's not an RPG.
Yeah.
It's just a... What's the best way to explain this? Oh my goodness. It's a long, taxing resource management game.
Okay.
There we go.
Like, the biggest problem is, I think, time more than anything. Is because I don't have a ton of time to dedicate to really long games, and so...
Well, I'm pretty sure the game can be beaten fairly quickly, but if you want to like build the entire road system in that game, then it takes a while.
Okay.
And then there's all the side quests, which are side quests. And then next thing you know, you spent 180 hours playing the game and got the platinum trophy. And Kojima never acknowledges you because he's Kojima. He's busy acknowledging other people you've never heard of.
That's right, like Jeff Keighley. Wait.
Not that I'm bitter or anything, but carry on.
Gearbox
I'm gonna
showed
tell
off
a guy
Tiny
happy
Tina.
birthday. And I'm sorry, what?
Gearbox showed off Tiny Tina's Wonderland, a trailer for it, which didn't give you a huge, a great big idea about what the game is. Apparently, though, if you've played some of the Borderlands DLC, this makes a little more sense.
I think this was Borderlands 2 DLC originally.
Yeah, so
Basically, it's
Tiny,
her D&D game.
yeah, she's getting we're getting a spin-off of the Borderlands games. Which the idea behind it sounds interesting, and like I've played all the Borderlands. We need to play Borderlands 3 together at some point. Like once the cross-play stuff gets implemented. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I have all of it on PC, so.
yeah, see, I have the entire thing on Stadia, so we just need to get Cole a copy.
I was about to say, I'm like, yeah, I'm familiar with the game.
You can play it on Xbox, so.
Cool.
And then once the crossplay stuff all gets implemented, which should be fairly soon, I think, all of us will be able to play together. So, but yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderland sounds interesting. Like the concept is one that intrigues me. So
I'm sure I'll have a lot of comedic moments in there.
probably,
Yeah.
probably. Among Us is getting new content, a new mode, hide and seek. So
Cool.
should be interesting. And there are new character roles, which I don't know. Like the other characters don't have specific roles, do they?
I
So
think now, kind of, yeah. I don't know. I've seen a lot of games with mods, so I don't know what its canon.
and I think that's what
Base
it is. I
game.
think this is something that was one of the mods that is being moved over into Among Us proper.
Okay.
So,
I think
but the new
some of
mode
it,
sounds interesting.
yeah, some of the ideas kind of come from like what's the Salem Town game?
Town of Salem.
Town of Salem, yeah.
I was just like, is he serious?
Let me switch those words around real quick. And Town of Salem.
But again, Among Us is one of those games that I don't want to play with anybody random, and it's hard to get a group big enough to make the game really fun together.
Yeah.
So, Jeff Goldblum was
Hey,
there,
really?
and yeah,
He's a
was
person.
he was showing off a new game. Which at first I was like, is this like a new Ark Survival Evolved? But then it hit me.
Ugh.
Duh. He's in Jurassic Park. And
Hey,
it was a trailer for Jurassic Park Evolution 2.
Smart.
So, which had lots of dinosaurs, as expected.
Copyright strike.
Please don't do that now. Axiom Verge 2 got a big trailer, which that game looks really good. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I need to play the first one because it's been on my to play list for a long time and I've never sat down and done it. This one looks very different. Like the first one was dark, a lot of dark colors and much more atmospheric. This one is much brighter. It looks like it's more open. The play style is a little different. They said they were putting more of an emphasis on melee combat this time around than
Oh, kind of an Ori and Blind Forest thing then,
yeah.
or maybe
The
more of a reverse on that. I guess I don't know.
the coolest thing though was like if you find the boss fights too hard, just skip them. Just walk on past.
Okay.
And you don't have to fight any of the bosses in the game to finish it. And that was one of the things he was like, I realized, we realized watching people play the game that a lot of people weren't finishing the game because there were bosses that were too hard for them. And he just straight up said, you don't have to worry about this time. If you can't beat the boss, just skip it. If you want to fight the boss and get that challenge, awesome, great. You'll get some bonuses for doing it. but you don't have to fight a single boss in the game.
Well, considering the content of the first game, I mean, they're kind of a necessity to beat.
They will not be this time.
Well, that's weird.
So, if you don't like the bosses, just walk on by.
I mean, you didn't have to beat the bosses in Breath of the Wild, except for the last one.
That's true. It's true. And if you did go through and beat the
Divine Beasts.
well, yeah, and finish those, you got, the final fight was much easier.
Yeah.
And it was, too. You got to just rip half of Ganondorf's health right off if you had all 4 of them there helping you. Smite is getting a crossover with Stranger Things, which just seems strange to me.
Would you say it's like a Stranger Thing?
It's one of the stranger things you wouldn't expect, yeah.
The thing about Smite is it's all about, gods and mythological creatures and characters like that on a battlefield fighting each other. And then you just got 11, which sort of makes sense, maybe. And then Hopper, who's just a dude with a gun. And it's a weird crossover. Like, they've done some strange crossovers with, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can use them as your god character in Smite. But this one is just, it's a bizarre seeming crossover to me. I'm not a huge, Smite fan. I don't like the Dota style games, and that's what this is. But for anybody that is curious or likes Smite, you'll be able to play as Hopper from Stranger Things. Fall Guys is getting a new skin,
Cool.
which
To be or not
definitely.
to be?
It is to be from Near Automation.
Near Automata.
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 Yeah, to be is getting a skin for Fall Guys, and
She has never looked thicker.
That's the truth. That was the first thing I thought when I saw her. I was like, man, Tubi got thick. She did too. But yeah, that is an interesting skin for that game. And then they ended the show with Elden Ring,
Yeah, they did.
which for
Everyone
me,
knew it was going to show as well.
yeah, it was like one of the worst kept secrets. Not that it had leaked or anything, but just that everybody knew.
And if they didn't show it, there would have been torches and pitchforks
So,
on the internet where it doesn't really matter.
I'm not a big fan of the Souls games, and this looks like another Souls game. So,
It looks like a Souls game with some mounted combat and a summonable horse.
like, it looks cool. I won't play it, and I know a lot of people are very excited for it.
Yeah, I look forward to trying it out. Whether I finish it or not is a whole other question.
Yeah, I'll watch you guys stream it.
Cool
Well,
beans.
you'll watch Ethan stream it because I won't stream. And then another game though that they ended the show. I skipped over this one. Didn't mean to.
How dare you?
Bruce Campbell narrated the trailer for Evil Dead, which that game looks really fun.
He's like really old now.
He is getting
Yes,
old. Yeah.
But man, he is still Bruce Campbell.
Definitely. Like the game gives me, I don't know exactly what the game is. It is like an asynchronous multiplayer style thing where you play as a group of characters from the Evil Dead movies. and
It's
you
like they
fight-
took Friday the 13th, that most recent game, and then made it where multiple players or multiple monsters to fight. So you have to fight them while you're doing that too.
Yeah. But if you don't want to be the good guys, you can fight as the monster.
Yep.
Trying to take out the players. And it looks really fun. Like when I first saw the footage from it, I was like, oh man, this is going to be like some survival horror game that would just scare the snot out of me if I tried to play it. But then
No, that's
It's
not
the
even
exact.
that
It is
style.
nothing like a survival horror game. It looks more like a Left 4 Dead or that Friday the 13th style game. So, it has piqued my interest, and like if it's something we can all play at some point, that might be something I'd be interested in.
Cool.
Trying to see what else happened that first day, because there were 3 different things that I watched.
I only knew about the first day.
Um, but if I go to their website, it doesn't show me the schedule of things that have already happened.
I think they have it that way on purpose because they would probably be afraid of leaks or something. They're too lazy to update.
So I don't have the full schedule of everything that happened. But
Yep.
the other thing that I watched, and it was I think 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
The new publishing company from Koch Media called Prime Matter.
Okay.
They had a 2-hour presentation that afternoon, and it was basically a class on how not to do an introductory presentation for your games. It was literally like the most boring thing I've watched. Not because the content was bad. It was a bunch of developers vaguely talking about the projects they're working on, and
Mm-hmm.
then the person who was conducting all of the interviews, who is from the publisher, ended every single interview with, "So what's it like being a part of our publishing group?" And of course, they all were like, "It's the greatest thing ever. This partnership's going to mean so much for us." It was basically just like an
I
ego
have to
stroke.
talk really well of y'all, or y'all will fire me. Thank you.
Exactly. Um, so it was back to back. It was 20-minute interview talking vaguely about a game, followed by a 20-minute interview talking vaguely about another game, followed by a 20-minute interview talking vaguely about this game, and zero footage of these games. Um,
Wow, it's like they've never seen a game trailer event
so
before.
basically, you know how last year Ubisoft, everybody just drug them under the bus for their Summer Games Fest thing because they didn't show off any gameplay of their games, and it was only like 30 minutes long or something. Um, Prime Matter didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to do it that way, and just extended it way past that. So,
Yeah.
like all of those things,
Torture.
if they had released all of those interviews separately as separate videos on their YouTube channel or whatever, that would have been fine. Um, because people could have gone in, watched the ones they were interested in, and not any of the other ones. Because all of the developers all were like very knowledgeable, talking about their games, and working on their games and the systems behind their games. It was all really interesting stuff. But that's not how you introduce a brand new publisher with a bunch of games that they're trying to sell people on.
Exactly. I mean, you want to show off games and let people enjoy what they're seeing, not bore them to tears.
Yeah. And I was just following social media during the whole thing, and everybody was just like, "This is a snooze fest." And you just watched viewership just humble
Plummet.
as it went on and
They're
on.
like, I'll
So
just catch this on, or catch the notes later for what's being shown.
yeah, so I feel really bad for all the developers and all the people involved because they were just getting raked over the coals, and it's unfortunate because there was a lot of interesting information if you were watching it all and you had the chance to stop and digest it at your own pace rather than just 2 straight hours of it. So um, hopefully they will
Do better
learn
next
from
year.
this, and when they do this again, we'll actually show off the footage. Because Ubisoft today had a lot of the same stuff, but they were showing gameplay while they were talking about the games that they were talking about. So, and I guess that's a perfect way to segue just straight into Ubisoft, which started day one of E3 today. and they started off with Rainbow Six Extraction, which looks really good. Like,
Yes. Oh my
like
goodness.
it
I
is a 3-person co-op game, set in an abandoned facility where you are fighting alien goo monsters.
That's one
Um,
way to say it. Yeah.
and each of the monsters has different abilities. Like there's different types. There's guys with like these glowing, you know, things on their back that if you shoot them they explode and do little like area damage. There are guys that you basically can't hurt them from the front and you have to work with your squad mates to distract them while somebody can get around behind them and attack them from the back. Uh, it looks like a incredibly fun 3-person tactical shooter, and I really want to play this.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I was like, "Oh, great, they're gonna show off a thing." Oh, uh, but no, it was. I was legitimately, like I said, surprised. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
this I'm not gonna pay for it. Pre-order, pay full price. I'm gonna wait till it drops, of course." But
yeah.
uh,
Oh yeah,
uh,
the Ubisoft shooters all go
oh,
down in price,
fairly quickly.
often. So
The only thing I can think of to compare it to that's currently out right now, or it's either out or it's in early access on Steam. It's GTFO. So if you ever get a chance to look that up, in my opinion, it's very similar to that, uh, but not as, I guess, not as dark, you could say.
yeah, and like they talked about this risk reward thing where if you go into this facility, they're like safe zones in it, but if you go into the facility, you have the chance of losing every bit of equipment you've acquired up to that point. So
Ooh.
you have to really weigh whether or not you want to keep going versus whether you need to regroup with your squad mates. And uh, if you get separated from your squad mates, you can basically get captured, and then they can't do anything until they've come and rescued you. So it looks like some teamwork and some tactical thinking is really going to be important in the game.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to play that sometime in the future.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Then they mentioned that crossplay and cross progression would be coming to Rainbow Six Siege,
Yeah,
which I'm not a
yeah.
huge. That's just an arena 5v5 shooter. That's not something that's like hugely important to me. But they said this year PC Stadia and Luna would get crossplay, and then early 2022 consoles would get crossplay added.
It's a weird
So,
way to go about it, but okay.
uh, well, I think the PC version is their version that they put the most or the bulk of the work into, and then take it to other platforms after that. Because Rainbow Six Siege is their competitive like esports thing. So
Right, right.
Watch Dogs Legions is getting some new DLC called Bloodlines,
Yes.
which looks like you play as Aiden Pierce and maybe his son.
I
Like,
didn't see too much on that one. It seemed like they were showing that off beforehand or something. But I was definitely seeing footage of characters from Watch Dogs 2.
hmm
So I don't know what this DLC is going to bring, but I'm kind of looking forward to it.
yeah, I'm
I
kind of
still need to
curious.
actually go and play Legion.
I need to play some more of it. I
It's
have,
like I bought it so I could play it with you, and then they delayed that
yeah, that multiplayer
co-op
hasn't
thing,
come.
and so I just never even I haven't even started the game. That's how I paid for the game, never even played it.
It's a really good game. Like it's probably the best Watch Dogs. Uh, there's so many different ways to do everything in that game, even more than previous versions. They talked about Trackmania. It has now got a battle royale style mode that is
Ooh.
free for everybody right now. You can go and play
I
that.
I called it Trackmania Fall Guys.
It's basically what it is.
Yes.
So, yeah, that looks interesting. I might have to check that out because I like Trackmania. That's a really fun little racing game. Um, Brawlhalla is getting 4 new characters this week. You may have heard of them. Their names are Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello.
Oh, from the Renaissance period of painting and art.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. It's the Renaissance Painters Pack. It's a really interesting idea for a fighting game. Like, and for some reason they gave Michelangelo nunchucks and Leonardo da Vinci as swords.
I can see
So
it. I mean, the dude practically made the first, or made the design for the first tank. So
that's true. That's true.
I mean, he
He,
knows guns and stuff. So it would make sense that he'd be a master of the sword. You know.
he was like the world's first Tony Stark.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You say Da Vinci?
Da Vinci. You know.
Leonardo da Vinci. That's how you pronounce it, I think. No, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are coming to Brawlhalla. So.
So
They'll
for those of
figure
you
it
who enjoy Smash, that isn't Smash. With
out. Brawlhalla is a really fun fighting game.
there you go.
It's done a lot of weird crossovers. Like there are Rayman characters in the game, WWE wrestlers, Walking Dead, Adventure Time. So they've done some weird crossovers in that game before. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are not going to seem out of place.
Until they do.
Far Cry 6 was shown off. They got a good, 3 or 4 minute trailer of that showing off Giancarlo Esposito's villain character. Uh,
I made some comments to Stuart about. It's like, hey, that's the guy I buy chicken from.
what? Get that one.
Sorry, everything went quiet. What'd you say?
So I don't get that one.
Oh, it's Breaking Bad.
Okay. I've never seen Breaking Bad, so
Los Pollos Hermanos. It's the store he runs to cover up
see.
the meth dealing underground thing he does.
See, I know him from Mandalorian,
Mm.
so
Oh, and he's also
he-
the brother to Pierce Hawthorne in Community.
okay.
Okay, so I know. So yeah, I know him from Once Upon a Time.
There you go.
We all know him from something different.
I mean, I know him from all of them, but
He's definitely lost weight since he was on Community. So
Far Cry 6 will be getting a season pass, and one of the inclusions is all of the enemies from the previous Far Cry games are going to be in it.
yeah, it was really weird. I couldn't understand what was going on there.
I wasn't sure if they're playable or you'll be fighting against them.
I wasn't sure of that either, or if they were just going to be like an homage and like, hey, remember these Far Cries? Well, here's Far Cry 6.
They also said the season pass will include Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
ugh.
It's better than probably all the other Far Cries. Tony, tell me what
Uh,
Riders Republic is.
Riders Republic is a insane looking game. It is, extreme sports, racing, massively multiplayer.
Oh, this is that
Uh,
colorful looking game that uses the same uh, introductory style of bringing in people and having them all race, sort of like Forza does, where it's like,
yeah,
all right, you're all gonna race and go through here. It's that sort of thing, but this is like extreme sports where you're like in flight suits and bicycles and stuff.
yeah, and snowboarding and
So it's Pilot Wings.
skydiving and all
Yeah,
kinds of weird
yeah.
stuff. So
Pilot wings, but not. There we go.
that game will be out on September 2nd. I think they showed that off last year.
They did,
Uh,
and
and then-
I have the same amount of interest that I did then that I do now.
well, I was watching the trailer and I was like, did this game already come out? But then I realized I was probably thinking of Steep.
Probably,
So
but I'm pretty sure they showed this off last year or whatever.
I seem to remember them showing it off last year. They showed off a trailer for a new Rocksmith game called Rocksmith Plus.
A subscription-based service for learning to play
It is.
guitar with new songs every week. Or
So,
about
it-
week?
like,
I think it was a week.
yeah, if you're interested in learning how to play the guitar, it is not a Guitar Hero type game. Don't.
No,
think
It may
about
look
it.
like
It
it,
is-
but it is not.
It is nothing like Guitar Hero. It is literally trying to teach you how to play guitar.
And
in
it's
a
now
game.
compatible with electric guitars and acoustic.
Yep, because
Acoustic,
you
it wants you
can.
to have an app on your phone to link
Yeah,
to the thing, though.
exactly.
It's got to listen in to
So
you.
you use your phone as a microphone, and it listens to what you're playing, and then registers that in the game. So, there you go. They talked about their support for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They mentioned specifically that this is the first time that they will be supporting an Assassin's Creed game into its second year, and they said they have a ton of stuff planned for Assassin's Creed this year.
I just wish they'd make a good Assassin's Creed game.
Starting,
They've gone too far off the books.
yeah, it's more of just an action game now. It is not.
It doesn't even acknowledge its old roots anymore. It's sad.
So, they're basically just historical action games at this point.
Yep.
Um, Valhalla is not like a bad game.
Oh no,
It's just
not at all. But
I want more of the hidey stabby stabby Assassin's Creed rather than the.
I want to get back more into like, okay, what happened to guy that dies, spoiler, in that one game, and you're going back as him and as this other person, and there's these
Yeah.
callbacks, and you're working it. So you're jumping back and forth between modern / future day to past / further past.
Yep. But their expansion for this year begins with the Siege of Paris. So going to France as a Viking.
Yep. Because that's what you do as a Viking. You go to Paris, France.
That was apparently one of the biggest battles in Viking history. So it makes perfect sense.
Exactly.
But the worst news by far of E3, the end of an era has happened, fellas. And I am truly, truly sad. Ubisoft, for the first time since 2006, I think, will not be releasing a game on the Wii. Just Dance 2022, the trailer was shown off, and it did not include a Wii logo at the end, and I was very sad. So,
oh well,
it is truly, the Wii is truly finally dead. But if you want a Just Dance game, there's plenty of other places to play it. So, Just Dance 2022.
There's also probably better games than Just Dance you could play.
That's probably true as well. But they still sell really well. They are top sellers for Ubisoft every year, so people still buy them. They're going to keep making them.
You know what I miss from Ubisoft?
What?
Rabbids.
That's great.
Well, have I got news for you, my friend. I literally gasped, covered my mouth, even though I knew the news was coming because
it was spoiled early this morning.
Early this morning, pictures leaked of the next Mario and Rabbids game, but when that trailer looked phenomenal.
It was a good trailer.
That was a really good trailer. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope was leaked early this morning, confirmed during Ubisoft Forward, and that game looks insanely good.
I really liked it when they showed the Rosalina Rabbid.
Yeah, or as what Micah called her, Rabalina.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't look at the chat.
So, yeah. We now have rabid Lumas. So,
and it seems they give certain powers and stuff.
Yeah, I think they will have a pretty, maybe not like a huge impact on gameplay, but it does look like the Lumas are going to be important to your team as you play. The game won't be out until next year, but if you haven't seen this trailer, go look at it. I was paying attention to Twitter as this announcement was going on, and everybody I saw was just like, game of the year. This is the best. Rabbids saved the Ubisoft Forward event. It was just near universal praise for the announcement of Mario and Rabbids 2.
Did you know you can tell it's a sequel because Mario's dual wielding? He
was only wielding one gun in the first game, wasn't he?
Yep.
But he had two of them. A-Rock, the dual-wielding little whatever those weapons are that he has. So it's still weird to see Mario holding a gun. It's crazy. Peach has now a umbrella cannon,
Yep.
so that is interesting.
And your boy Luigi, he's picked up the bow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this game takes place in space. You are not in the Mushroom Kingdom this time around. The rabbits have not, fallen to the Mushroom Kingdom and are just causing havoc. You are teaming up with the rabbits in space against a new threat, with the same turn-based strategy gameplay from the first game. They showed off a little bit of it during the Ubisoft event today.
And this was pre-alpha footage, they said. That was like
That was
really
really
far in
good
development
looking for-
pre-alpha
yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed on there was this new villain, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, because I mean, there might be something more to it.
Mhm.
His face is basically the Ubisoft logo.
I hadn't really noticed that.
It's like a dumbed down version, but it's kind of the logo there. So I was like, this is a little weird for them, but okay.
Mm. I'm curious to know who the emo rabbit girl is.
You mean the green and black hair thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
because she's featured prominently in the picture, the promotional art that they showed. So I'm wondering what her deal is in the story. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Nintendo will probably be showing off a little bit more of that maybe on Tuesday during their event. But yeah, that is easily day one purchase for me. I am buying that the second it is out. I loved that first game.
Wasn't the first game like $5 just the other day?
It was.
I've never played it. I was like, man, I meant to buy that and I forgot about it.
You could pick up a digital copy of the game for the Switch through Ubisoft's store.
I'm gonna check out the store real quick.
I don't think it's still available. I think they had a limited number of codes they were selling at that price. And today, I saw that sales for the first game on Amazon jumped in 1,400% over what it had been over recently. So it jumped from in the 60s on the sales chart to the top 10 after the announcement of Sparks of Hope. So,
Wow, it's not even listed on their store.
really?
Scott Pilgrim is like $5 off right now. Just Dance 2022 is $50. No way.
Yep.
I'm buying that garbage.
And then they had to go after the Mario and Rabbids announcement, where they could have ended on the high note there with the best game of the entire event. They followed that up with the announcement or the reveal of a new Avatar game.
Meh.
Not Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're talking Blue.
Even more
Blue
meh.
Skin. I had no interest in this. It's called Frontiers of Pandora. It'll be out next year.
VR?
I don't care anything about Avatar.
Oh, you can get the Splinter Cell collection for $18. It's usually $90.
That's a heck of a deal.
It really is.
But that was it for the Ubisoft event. Game of the Year announcement so far. It's going to be hard to top Mario and Rabbids. Sorry. That is right there. Your front runner for Game of the Year 2022.
Still trying to find it on their store.
You got to see the Devolver Digital event, which I did not.
Okay, I'll stop looking at Ubisoft so I can talk Devolver. Uh-oh. Where'd my stuff go? Okay, there it is. Okay. So, Devolver Digital, they're a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Mature to watch, I guess. They're not holding back. If they're gonna cuss, they're gonna go big or go home on that.
Yeah, their events are always M-rated.
Yeah, there's cussing, there's blood, there's stuff that no one can understand, not even them. And apparently there was a thing about chili dogs this time around. I couldn't figure that out, but okay. And the guy just kept taking chili dogs out of the microwave. It's like, he'd open the door, take them out, close the door, open it up, and there's like more in there. It made no sense. I'm gonna take a drink of water so I can keep talking. Thanks for filling in that gap there, Tony. Anyway, they opened up with Trek to Yomi. This is like some samurai game. I don't know if it's like side scrolling or what on here. It was a little hard to tell, but it was like all black and white. So that was kind of cool. Not sure what to make of it, but they showed it off, and I was like, all right, that's cool. And then they showed off Wizard with a Gun. If you are familiar with the style of, oh gosh, what is it? Don't Starve, then that's basically what this game looks like, but that trailer was just pretty awesome to watch. There's like a crafting system to make to make bullets, maybe make weapons too, I don't know. But basically you're making magical bullets and various guns to use to fight whatever it is out there in the wild on you there. The trailer itself was pretty nice and awesome. Yeah. They showed off Inscription. So if you had ever played or heard of a little game called Pony Island,
I have not actually.
it's a very strange game where you're trying to play a game that's actually like a Hellgate or something. It's like as you play the game, it kind of devolves into chaos, and eventually it's trying to like summon a devil, and so you're trying to beat the game and keep the devil at bay or something. I don't know. It's weird. This game, Inscription, more that sort of thing going on, but it's like you're playing a card game, you're playing a board game, you're also playing a room escape at the same time. And apparently it's a roguelike deck building style as well. So it's going to be extremely crazy to see how that one's going to work out.
Yeah.
And like you can sacrifice cards to make other cards more powerful, and apparently the cards will talk to you as well. It's a little weird. But another drink here.
Right,
I did mention I've been sick, so
yeah.
Then they showed off Devolver Tumble Time.
What is that?
All right, let's Tarantino this back to the beginning of the event. They opened up with what the next idea would be. They treated all the previous E3 events where they show what's her name going through all this stuff as a fake movie thing that they were trying to sell, and they're like, no, that's a bad idea. Let's do something different. And then it's like, okay, well, what if we do microtransactions? And so it's like everything they came up with DevolverMaxPassPlus.com. So it's a functional website where it looks like you're trying to buy the games. You can buy merchandise, and there's a subscribe and current subscriber button. If you click on it, it's like, all right, cool, your subscription's already going and active. So this Devolver Tumble Time is much like the oh gosh, what are those games where it's got the those Disney characters, they fall into the circle and you gotta do like the match 3 and they're all those.
Soon.
There we go, that thing. You know what, I'm just gonna read the description on here. Devolver Tumble Time is a future of physics-based puzzle gameplay, elegant monetization, and strategic brand integration. Choose characters from a packed roster of your favorite Devolver digital games and rack up big points matching and clearing their impossibly adorable heads from the tumbler. Get hyped enough and unleash each character's special ability to clear huge chunks and earn power-ups to create chaotic chain reactions. I need to take another drink, sorry.
Gotta fill up the empty space while Ethan takes a drink. La 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 la.
That was beautiful.
I'm just gonna mute myself, hold on.
Okay. Filling up more time. I've got to sing a song. There's a man in a samurai hat.
Okay, I'm not coughing now. We're good
Okay.
for a little bit. Oh, Okay, chaotic chain reactions. Then maybe watch some entertaining ads because nothing is ever really free. So I'm not sure if this will actually be free. I wouldn't be surprised if it was because Devolver, the way they want to handle stuff, it poke fun at people who are charging for stupid things, which is what this entire thing was. They showed off another game called Death's Door. Um, I honestly don't remember what this one was. Let's see. A world where crows are in charge of collecting the souls of the dead, reaping souls, and punching a clock might get you know what? Just go watch that thing because I don't. I mean, I could hit the play button, but it's gonna be noisy. They also showed off Phantom Abyss. It's a temple running game. You get abilities as you play through there. It's kind of a roguelike, but you only get like one shot at each temple. At each temple, you get one shot. And the first person to clear the temple, it is your temple. No one else can ever clear that temple.
It's mine.
But if you die in the temple, you never get to go back to try that temple again. It's kind of a crazy looking thing.
Yeah.
You'll get abilities as you play through there, like double jump and other stuff like that, or something.
Cool.
I've seen a few streamers play it. It's interesting. They showed off Shadow Warrior 3 again. They didn't show off much, but what they showed off was nothing new, I guess. It's like, why is this game not out yet, really? It'll be out this year, though, according to what I'm seeing. Then they showed off Terra Nil. It's a reverse city builder about ecosystem reconstruction. I don't remember this one either. I apologize. But they ended with... I'm actually just going down the list of what they have on the site. I actually did watch the event, but I don't think they actually ended with this, but it was close to the end. They showed off a game called Demon Throttle, and its developer is Doinksoft, creators of Gato Roboto, and it is like it actually has a physical Nintendo Switch box set that you can order right now.
Okay.
And it's going through special reserve games. And it's a story of a beautiful vampiress and a dusty gunslinger on a quest for vengeance against a demon that stole her mythical chalices and slept with his estranged wife. That's what. Sorry, I was hesitating. I was like, can I read this on the show?
Can you talk about that?
Now, the two unlikely companions must blast their way through four monstrous generals and their wicked yeah. Basically, it's like an 8-bit shmup where overhead shmup, vertical, and like the characters that can actually jump over the bullets and stuff, and whenever you're coming up to a boss, you get like that Mega Man thing where it's like warning, demon general approaching or something. It's like pretty awesome looking. I might look into this, especially knowing that Gato Roboto people are involved.
Yeah. I think having them attached to it is something that will get you very interested.
They did end the show saying that there was like merchandise you can buy from the website, which you can see at the bottom of that website that they said. And they introduced a NFT during the show.
Oh, did they?
And while the idea behind what NFTs are works for this, it is not NFT in that general sense. They gave it their own. They changed the acronym to be their own words. I'm not going to repeat them here.
You cannot say them on this show.
I cannot. But they sold a one of kind only VHS tape for $1,000.
Oh my.
And someone actually bought it while the show was still going on.
I'm not surprised. Like, not at all.
But if you want to order like the premium access business attire suit, that'll cost you
$70 million.
where's the price?
If you have to ask, you can't.
$500 and it's already sold out.
Yeah, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Ugh.
But they have various merchandise there. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Like I wanted to watch Devolver. I just haven't had a chance. They always do the craziest, weirdest, like presentations.
Oh, wow. Reading all that almost killed me. I am sorry.
Well, it's a good thing that is the end of the show.
There was also Gearbox. They showed off Tiny Tina, but that's basically all they showed. Literally. There's nothing else. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Because there's no more Borderlands right now. So.
Because they haven't asked me to write Borderlands 4 for
No,
them.
they haven't.
They'd rather talk about people that are starring in the movie.
Well, that will be it for the first couple of days of E3. There are still 3 to go.
So we're counting Jeff Keighley's Summerfest as part of E3 now.
Yeah, it's part of E3. It essentially is, even if it's not technically E3. So, so yeah, we will be back. We'll talk next week about Microsoft, Square Enix, and Nintendo. Are there any others that are going to be?
Microsoft, Square Enix, Nintendo, Capcom.
Capcom, yeah.
Take-Two Interactive. Maybe, I don't know. Bandai Namco, probably. And I cannot read some of this list.
Yeah. So we will hit all of the major players next week that we haven't talked about this week.
Verizon's going to be there, and then Intellivision.
Ooh, Verizon.
I know, man. They've been making the hottest games since never.
I mean, they
Did
make
Did you say new television?
Intellivision.
Oh.
You know, Verizon makes as many games right now as Konami does. So
Boom. Mic drop.
there you go.
Peace. We out.
That is it for the show. Thank you very much, Cole, for being here.
Thank you for letting me be part of the Konami class action lawsuit against us later.
They can't do anything that they can't prove us wrong.
That's true. Except they'll say, well, we've got these pachinko games.
Yeah.
So this is America, son.
We don't play pachinko here. Thank you very much, Ethan, for being here as well.
Yep. Sorry for being sick, especially yesterday, but carrying over a bit today.
Gross.
I tried. And I made it through. Sorry.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can send us an email to procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com or direct message us on Twitter at ProGenENT. Facebook users can join our Facebook group by searching for Procedurally Generated. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast by going to Podbean or by searching for us on whatever podcast app you prefer.